Welcome to Royal Insights, where we explore the stories, traditions, and fascinating details behind royal families and dynasties from around the world. Join us as we uncover the history, culture, and curiosities that connect crowns across continents. The Habsburgs, the family that ruled Europe. Europe, the 15th century, a continent divided into hundreds of kingdoms, duchies, principalities, and empires. Every ruler dreams of expansion. Most believe the path to power is simple: war, conquest, bloodshed. But one family discovers a different strategy, a strategy so effective that within just a few generations, they will rule nearly half of Europe. Not through battlefields, but through weddings. For centuries, kings feared them, popes negotiated with them, empires rose beneath their banner, and millions lived under their rule. They were the Habsburgs, the family that ruled Europe. Long before they became emperors, the Habsburgs were simply local nobles. Their story begins in the 11th century, not in Vienna, not in Madrid, but in what is now Switzerland. There stood a modest fortress known as Habsburg Castle. It wasn't the grandest castle in Europe, nor was its family among the richest. But history often begins in unlikely places. Generation after generation, the Habsburgs expanded their influence, not with dramatic victories, but through patience. Every alliance mattered. Every marriage opened another door. Every inheritance became another opportunity. Slowly, almost invisibly, their influence spread across the Holy Roman Empire. Few could have imagined what was coming next. Everything changed in 1273. A relatively unknown nobleman named Rudolf of Habsburg was elected king of the Romans. It was one of the most important political positions in Europe. Although the Holy Roman Empire was far from united, its ruler carried enormous prestige. Rudolf understood something many rulers overlooked. Winning the throne once wasn't enough. His family needed to keep it. For generations afterward, the Habsburgs worked tirelessly to secure the imperial crown. Sometimes they lost it. More often, they won it back. Eventually, being the Holy Roman Emperor became almost synonymous with being a Habsburg. By the 15th century, their dynasty had become Europe's dominant political force. But their greatest weapon wasn't an army. An old Latin saying became forever associated with the Habsburg family: Belligerant ali tu felix Austria nube. Let others wage war, you, fortunate Austria, marry. It wasn't just a clever phrase, it was their entire strategy. While rival kingdoms exhausted themselves in endless conflicts, the Habsburgs arranged marriages. Princesses became queens, princes became kings. Children inherited entire kingdoms. Instead of conquering territories, they simply inherited them. One wedding could achieve what decades of war never could. No dynasty mastered this political art better. Every marriage expanded their influence. Every generation grew more powerful than the last. Soon, Europe itself began to resemble one enormous Habsburg family tree. No ruler embodied this strategy better than Maximilian I. Brilliant, ambitious, patient. In 1477, Maximilian married Mary of Burgundy. The marriage transformed the family's fortunes overnight. Mary was one of the wealthiest heiresses in Europe. Her inheritance included the prosperous Low Countries, modern Belgium, Luxembourg, and the Netherlands. These weren't just valuable lands. They were among Europe's richest trading centers. With one marriage, the Habsburgs became an economic powerhouse. But Maximilian wasn't finished. He arranged another extraordinary marriage. His son, Philip the Handsome, married Joanna of Castile. At first, it appeared to be another prestigious royal union. No one realized it would change history. Philip and Joanna had one son, Charles. History remembers him as Charles V, and through an astonishing series of inheritances, Charles became the most powerful ruler Europe had seen in centuries. Spain, Austria, the Netherlands, southern Italy, large parts of Central Europe, and, across the Atlantic, the rapidly expanding Spanish colonies in the Americas. His empire became so vast that people said, the sun never sets on it. At any given moment, some part of Charles's lands was always bathed in daylight. It was an empire unlike any before, stretching across continents, spanning oceans, connecting Europe, Africa, Asia, and the New World. One man ruled it all, yet with such immense power came impossible challenges. Charles V possessed more land than almost any European monarch before him, but ruling such a vast empire proved nearly impossible. Messages traveled by horseback, ships crossed oceans for months, wars erupted on multiple fronts. The Ottoman Empire pressed from the east. France challenged Habsburg dominance in the west. Meanwhile, a German monk named Martin Luther launched the Protestant Reformation. Europe fractured religiously, Catholics, Protestants, princes choosing sides. Charles spent much of his reign trying to preserve Christian unity, but the divisions only deepened. After decades of endless warfare, the emperor became exhausted. In 1556, he made an extraordinary decision. He abdicated, retiring to a monastery, leaving behind an empire too large for any one ruler. Charles divided his inheritance. His brother Ferdinand received Austria, along with the Holy Roman Empire. His son Philip II inherited Spain, its European territories, and its overseas empire. From this moment onward, the Habsburg dynasty existed in two great branches, the Austrian Habsburgs and the Spanish Habsburgs. They remained close relatives, shared similar ambitions, and continued arranging marriages, often with each other. It strengthened their control, but it also planted the seeds of one of history's most famous genetic tragedies, the Habsburg jaw.